final question really quick before you go. You're somebody who's always, from the beginning of doing work with you, been a great advocate of, like, I would say, grounded optimism. So you're also, in addition to dealing with all of this garbage that we're talking about, you're also in the fields, you're talking to people. You are getting a sense of, I think, what is really some legitimately incredible momentum and people's recognition that their fates aren't sealed, that things can actually be quite different in a positive way. And if there's anything from that that you can mirror to the audience and reflect out in these last several days before Iowa and make them feel of that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm genuinely humbled to be in the position that I'm in on this campaign, where I get to be exposed firsthand. It's my whole job to listen to and take in and ruminate on all of the stories that you hear powerfully told to Bernie Sanders and other surrogates at rallies, at town halls, on the campaign trail, to read all the Bernie stories that have been trickling in, and to understand in a way that I don't know is true of other campaigns, how much people who support Bernie because they feel like it's an existential issue. Right. And not just because the climate is an existential issue for all of us, but because when you're talking about healthcare as a human right, whether or not in the richest country in the history of the world, whether you live or die should be dependent on how much money you were born with or how good the insurance your employer provides is. When you're talking about, 30 to 40,000 people dying a year simply because of a lack of access to health care, or the fact that the average student in America graduates with $30,000 of debt that follows them for the rest of their lives. When you're talking about the mass incarceration crisis, where we have more people locked up in this country than anywhere else in the world, and you have 12 people dying in Parchman Prison in Mississippi over the course of the last month or so, when you're talking about a crisis of the proportions that we're talking about now that affects so many millions of Americans, there is an energy that is both humbling and incredibly galvanizing. And I know that energy is going to carry us through in Iowa. You see it in our volunteer effort on the ground. And I believe truly to the tip of my toes, as some of our friends in this race like to say, that this movement is something that is a lot bigger than this campaign. And so I think that we need to continue to fight like we are 10 points behind.
Definitely.
Don't stop calling, texting, sign up for a shift if you haven't done so already. It's a lot easier than you think it is, I promise you. If you think you're going to be bad on the phone or, not do a good job and think, oh, it's better off for me to sit on the sidelines, that's not true. Please, please, please download the Burn app, BERN, and put in your friends and family, message them, make sure they're registered and they know where to do and what to go, and where to go, because that kind of relational organizing is the number one way you convince people, talking about your story to people that trust you and know you and love you. And please have faith and confidence that we can do this. We truly can change the settled expectations of this country so that our democratic system actually delivers for the people, the demos rather than the corporations. And thank you so much for all of the support you've given already.
Briahna, thank you so much. It's so awesome, this journey, which I still think is just beginning, but it's very cool that 2 years ago we were sitting here talking about important things to talk about, and now here we are with this emergence. And I also just want to say that we're incredibly proud that you've graduated from this institution, and this is the type of skill set you just heard that we cultivate here.
Well, thank you, Professor Brooke.
Of course. All right. Thank you. Briahna Joy Gray, National Press Secretary, Bernie Sanders for president. Let's do this. Come on. Let's be real. Briahna, thank you so much. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You just watched a Michael Brooks Show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.